Hello and welcome to a new vlog and trip report, and today we're taking a Railjet from Vienna in Austria to Munich in Germany, and here on the map you can see our approximate route today. And before boarding our train we can take a look at some Railjets arriving and departing, and the last one being our train, which is coupled with another Railjet here in Vienna. Firstly, we can take a look at the interior, which is quite nice in first class today. We're having seats that we already seen in the videos. For example, about the ICE3 or ICE-T, they are using the same seats. The seats are adjustable, we have power sockets, reading lights, movable armrests and sturdy tables. Table size is okay. You can fit a big laptop on the table, but then there's no more space at all left. And here we are leaving the main station of Vienna, rather new station, and from here we are going to the next stop in Vienna, Meidling. Our train today consists of two Railjets coupled together, so we are in a very long train, which we will see later on. And after leaving Vienna Meidling, we are going into the first tunnel of our journey, which is the Leinzer tunnel. This tunnel is 9.5 kilometers long, and the interesting part is that it ends in a tunnel. So at the moment you're leaving the Leinzer tunnel, you're immediately entering the Wienerwald tunnel, which is another 13 kilometers long tunnel. So for a passenger on a train, it's just a very long tunnel of almost 25 kilometers. So you will spend a long time in a tunnel after leaving Vienna. After that, the landscape is not very spectacular, as there are a lot of noise protection walls. They are also blocking off any view that you could have, but the landscape also is not too spectacular, as we are now going through a rather flat area of Austria, with our next stop being in St. Pölten. From St. Pölten you have some interesting connections, for example with the Mariazeller railway to Mariazell, quite interesting railway line that I will hopefully be able to show to you here on the channel in the future as well. But of course I am staying on the train, as we are now going back from the cruise with the Riverside Mozart to Germany. I wanted to book an ICE all the way from Vienna to the Ruhrgebiet, the Ruhr area in western Germany, but the ticket for two persons were more than 500 euros, so extremely expensive, and I was not willing to pay that much money just for a train ride. The high prices, of course, were due to high demand, as we were traveling one day before Christmas. That's why we decided to take the Railjet to Munich, change trains there and continue from Munich with an ICE. Later on I found out that the ICE from Vienna to Duisburg directly was cancelled shortly after reaching Germany without any replacement, so we would have to take regional trains. So that was in the end a very good decision to not take that very expensive train that wouldn't have even brought us to our destination in the end. Our train was slightly delayed, not more than 5 minutes, due to a short stop in a tunnel, but otherwise we were almost completely on time. I had a small snack in the train, which is served at the table. You can order in the restaurant or with the crew that is walking through first class all the time, so the service on board is also pretty good. Our train today is a Railjet Express. This is the fastest train category in Austria, meaning that our train is not stopping at many stations. We are only stopping at the most important stations like St. Pölten, Linz, Salzburg, and then we are going straight to Munich. Here we can see the headrest, which is much nicer than in the ICE trains that are otherwise using the same seat model, so the interior is quite nice. And additionally to the first class, there is an even higher class where you have very nice seats, but in this case there were no seats available in that class, so we are traveling first class. Here you can see how long the train is. It is very impressive to see this extremely huge train consisting of two Railjets coupled together. Here we are in Linz, which was also a destination of my cruise with the Riverside Mozart. Now we're going back, and from Linz it's a short moment until Hotham, and from there the railway line finally gets a bit more interesting. There's more to see as we are getting closer to the mountains of the Alps, and at this part there are no tunnels yet. Of course there are plans to build some tunnels to make this railway line even faster, but at the moment we are using the regular railway line and now to Salzburg, and that means that we will have some nice views on our way to the city close to the border with Germany. Unfortunately there were almost no more snow, just a little bit of rests of snow were still visible when we got closer to Salzburg. A few days earlier there was a lot of snow, but we were a bit late for that, so yeah, unfortunately we have to deal with this rather grey landscape today, also of course due to the bad weather. But still it was quite nice, the views got better as soon as we got closer to Salzburg. In Salzburg we will stop and the two coupled Railjets get uncoupled, so they are going on two different directions. Our train continuing, at least according to plan, non-stop to Munich. And now we are getting closer and closer to Salzburg, also quite interesting and beautiful city that I will be hopefully able to visit soon and make some videos from Salzburg, because there are also some quite interesting trains in that area. And as it is pretty close to the German border, it's also a bit easier to reach for me. Here we are in Salzburg, and now we were supposed to continue on without stopping until Munich. But as soon as the German train crew took over, it was announced that we will have an additional stop in Freilassing just behind the border, because the train an hour before ours broke down just after crossing the border into Germany, and now we had to take all the guests from the other train. These guests were already waiting for 1 hour for our train now, so our train was pretty crowded and of course had a much bigger delay of about 20 to 30 minutes due to that additional stop in Freilassing. So unfortunately the experience in Germany on this day was not very good. Trains were extremely unreliable on that day, and that is also the reason why there will be no video continuing on from Munich, because until Munich everything was fine. We just got a delay of about 30 to 40 minutes in the end. That is acceptable, but it got worse and worse on the way to Duisburg later on, so there will be no video about this train right then. Here we are now crossing the border, reaching Freilassing, where we had our additional stop to take the guests from the broken Railjet, which we can see here on the opposite platform. And of course that took a while to take all the guests into our train, which was pretty crowded then. But then we continued on to Munich without any further stops. Other trains are stopping, for example in Traunstein or Rosenheim, but as we are a Railjet Express, we are going to Munich directly. Here the railway line is even nicer now, because we have no more noise reduction walls at all, which is of course bad for the people who are living next to the railway line, but very good for us because we can finally see a bit of the mountains in the background. But unfortunately, due to the bad weather, there's not too much to see and it's not looking as nice as it's usually looking like. So as I said, my journey continuing on from Munich will not get a video because my originally booked train arrived already 50 minutes late, but the train didn't even leave the station because there was an unattended piece piece of luggage found in a train, and the police decided that the whole train has to be evacuated and has to be cancelled, and we had to find another train. And in the end we arrived about 2 hours late in Duisburg, so most part of the train ride were already in the darkness, so there will be no video about that train ride. We've just passed the city of Traunstein and now we are reaching Rosenheim, also going through Rosenheim without stopping, even though Rosenheim is a quite big city with an important station, but the Railjet Express is only stopping at a very few stations in between, and so we're passing through Rosenheim here at this moment. After Rosenheim, the railway line gets less spectacular, so there will be not too many shots from that part of the line to Munich. And so here we are already in Munich at the station Munich East. From there we are just going around the city center to reach the main station. To do so we have to cross the river Isar, and a few minutes after that we are reaching the main station of Munich, final stop of the train, with a delay of about 30 to 40 minutes, which was actually a short delay compared to other trains on that day, because this day was a pretty chaotic day in a means of train traveling in Germany. Here we are approaching the main station of Munich, and this is now the end of the video. Before ending, we can take a final look into the train in the first class of the Railjet. This was the first time where I even got a chance to take a shot of the interior of the train, because the whole train ride, the train was pretty crowded. As I said, it was the day before Christmas and a lot of people were traveling. But that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Here you can see when the next video will be uploaded and the name of the song. As always, I'd like to say thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider to comment, like or share the video link. And if you want to see more train videos, make sure to follow, and I hope to see you in my next video.